Welcome everybody to another installment of Quentin Parker's Flight Sim Vlog. I am your host, Quentin Parker, and I'm seated in the left seat of the SR22 GTSx by Carenado and Thranda. And we're going to take a little flight to get familiar with it. We're on the ground at Wings Field in Blue Bell, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. And there's a authorized service center, training center, sales center at this airport, so that's why I'm flying out of Blue Bell instead of Northeast Philadelphia. Trying to keep it real. So join me in the cockpit and we'll get this party started. Right. Alright. Secure your door, please. Thank ya. I'm gonna secure the baggage door. Done. And my door. All right. Let's get in the air. I'm thinking about taking this puppy up to Montauk. Normally I reserve a flight like that from this area for the PC-12, but the SR22 has got
Lancaster Information
some
Tango.
speed on it.
1000 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 19,500 scattered, 34,500 scattered.
Always going to Lancaster, it seems. Alright. That brightens it. There we go. Alright. So, avionics power is up. Oops, sorry. Mixture rich. Full tanks. Fuel pump. And clear left. Clear nose. Clear right. Clear prop. And thank you, XP Realistic Pro. All right. We should have already... No, I think that's the Spanish... Yep, that is the Spanish flight plan that's loaded. So, what we're going to do is... Gonna load directly for Montauk. Really? Seriously? There we go. All right. Let's clear this flight plan. All right. Let's go direct. Okay. That took forever. Okay. M. M. T. P. Is that KNTP? Gosh darn it. I specifically... Montauk. There we go. Alright. So, it looks like... ...162 miles away, direct track 82. Yep, it took. Let's get going, shall we? So, a couple of things I want to cover. There we go. I suppose you're wondering why it's very quiet if the engine's running. I'm having sound issues with my install. I don't know if it's just me or I don't know what's going on. But let's add a little power. There we go. Now, I'm seated... That's what I was about to talk about. I'm seated fairly comfortably in my chair right now, but if I lean forward, pass through a pocket or a zone where the sound just spikes for no reason. Actually, there are two. Here's one. Okay, fairly close. And when I lean just a hair backwards, I run into another one. That's it. So I'm not exactly sure what to do about that. So let's get in the air, shall we? If that gets to be too distracting or too annoying, I'll just mute the sound altogether. We're rolling. We're rolling. We're rolling ever so slightly. Here's my brakes. All right. First things first about the SR22. It does not have directional steering on the nose wheel. You steer by way of gently tapping your brakes differentially. If you want to turn left, just tap the brake. If you overcorrect, you tap right. Takes a little getting used to, and I've got a few hours in the plane, so I'm better at it than I was when I first cracked it open. But yeah, it takes some getting used to. That's as gently as it can be said. Not impossible. Not impossible, and not terribly annoying. Just getting your speed under control will help. So alright. Approach path is clear. I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to try and start a timer. Standing on the brakes. Transponder. Altitude. Code. Timer. Timer's up. All right, cool. Let's get started, shall we? Actually, think I made a mistake by entering Montauk on the second nav. Let me try it on the primary nav. Hang on real quick. Yes. There we go. Much better. Close this down. You know, I'm going to restart the timer. Much better. Sorry about that. Full throttle. Release. Rotate. Not a moment too soon. Downtown Philadelphia. Alright, we're about 500 feet above ground level. Engaging autopilot and nav. Sweet! You guys may have noticed two changes just now. If you've seen enough of my my videos, generally I do not employ the autopilot, and that's going to change. So, and we'll talk about that. You know, let's go to 3,500. 28, 29, 3,000, 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. We just blew through the altitude, but it's coming back down. All right. Like I said, ahoy. That is annoying. Okay. Let's pull back a little bit. Is that as far as it goes? Yep. That's as far as it goes. So we're at 3,500. And over here we have Willow Grove Naval Air Station. Oh, I'm sorry, the now defunct Willow Grove Naval Air Station or Willow Grove Joint Reserve Base, whichever you may have known it by. And Northeast Philadelphia, it should be right there. Runway in sight. But check it out. This is it. This is the SR22, baby. Take it in. Take it in. While we're at it. Landing light off. What can I tell you about this plane while we're up? Let's go to engine. We are 20 gallons of fuel per minute. Throttle back to let's go to the bottom of the green arc. 11. Can we go lower? Okay. So while we're here, I suppose, you can see where I was, what I was doing with keeping it at full power. I was probably just going to blow through a lot of fuel unnecessarily. I just wanted to get up to speed. This thing will cruise at about 160 something knots. We don't need that much speed. So we're operating at 54% power, roughly 2,000 RPMs, 29 inches of mercury, manifold pressure, I suppose. 10 gallons per hour for fuel flow. Green arc on oil temperature and oil pressure. And I gotta check this out to see what this is, considering that this is a turbine. I'm not sure if these are pistons, so I don't know what's going on here. We blew through 13 gallons of fuel because I took off with fuel. I took off with full tanks, and we just blew through 13. I've got 78 remaining. And what's that? 6 hours? 8 hours? I can't read that. Wow, seriously. 8 hours. Flying at this flying with this fuel flow will keep me in the air for 8 hours. Range 622 nautical miles. And I guess I can get my best economy at 13. I'm getting 13 nautical miles per gallon. Nice. Gives my density, altitude, and temperature and pressure. So you can see you get a fair amount of information thrown at you on this screen. Speaking of screens, let's look out the window real quick. I guess we're leaving. Well, I don't have to guess, but this looks like we're leaving Pennsylvania, going into New Jersey. Yeah. And why I don't have to guess is because of the moving map. We'll be passing over Trenton shortly. I guess on the right-hand side. Yep, there it is. There's Trenton. So, yeah, there's that. In addition, I've got a strip here that basically abbreviates all the engine information that I just went over. It appears on this screen, the MFD, as well as this screen, the PFD, right there. So, you know, even though I've got, you know, glass cockpit, I can still have a fair amount of information available to me as far as what's going on with my plane. So yeah, there's that. And I've got a ground speed of 151, baby. On the primary display, this strip right here lets me know I'm operating at 54% power. GPS autopilot to Montauk direct. It's 139 nautical miles and closing on a bearing of 82 degrees. We're cruising along at 143 knots indicated and an altitude of 3,500. True airspeed, there we go. 151 knots, outside air pressure, damn it, outside air temperature of 8 knots. And like I said, I started a little timer. We've been in the air roughly 11 minutes. I got my V speeds, or most important V speeds here for reference. Best glide 75 knots, VX 64, VY 84. And I can change my minimums if I need to. Whew. Oh, did I get the transponder? Yeah, transponder, set the altimeter, it's good. And I can turn off the engine strip here if I need to. Wait. Duh. There it is. That's what I meant to do. Alright, so I just went through all that to show you that you have a fair amount of information that's presented to you on the primary and multifunction displays. And if you've flown the Cirrus SF50, the Cirrus jet that comes standard in X-Plane, you'll pretty much see the same thing. It's got the Cirrus planes are renowned for their uniformity across the board. What you see in the SR20, you get in the SR22, and also in the SF50. You can move between the planes easily, and they certainly want you to move up from the SR22 to the SF50. We have our backup gauges down here, and And oh, that's about it. That's the quick overview. We've got a working ELT button down here, emergency location transmitter, I think that's what that stands for. And if for some stupid reason you skipped a checklist item and you took off with your exterior static port still covered, like your pitot-static tube, you can open this and create an alternate source of static information, alternate static source, as well as we have these lovely fuses. Wow, they're fuses, and I blanked on that for some strange reason. They're down here, and they're inoperable, but you know, it's nice to know they're there. So, yeah, I am flying the SR22, and this has been a long time coming. I flew the SR22 in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm not sure who put it out, but it was an okay model, an okay version of it. So when I saw that Carenado and Thranda had a version of the SR, I had to, you know, I had to check it out. I didn't do it immediately. I sat on it for a while. That was kind of silly, but I did. And you know, I probably just need to lean back a little bit. There we go. But you know, I figured finally it was time to, you know, get it, check it out, see what's going on. And so far I'm pleased. I learned something in flying the SR22. So in that respect alone, it was worth the price of it. I think it was like $35. What I learned is that I'm so used to flying the Piper Warrior 2, and I have to specify 2, that it's comfortable. It's very comfortable to just jump in the Warrior 2 and go. And as a result, I think I end up flying other planes that way. Now, that's a problem. And why it's a problem is because the Warrior 2 is a generation earlier, or a generation older than the SR22, and even the PC-12. You know, it's not designed with, you know, glass cockpit avionics in mind, although you can get it retrofitted after the fact. But why would you? It's still a Warrior 2. I specify Warrior 2 because the Warrior 3 has a glass cockpit, but it's still a Warrior. And I don't mean that derisively. I love the Warrior. Whoa! Don't get me wrong. I do. But it's not, comparatively speaking, it's not as complex a plane to fly as the SR or the PC-12. And, I mean, they're just different beasts altogether. I mean, you know, you got the side stick controller controllers, plural. You've got a state-of-the-art avionics suite that's, you know, as opposed to the six-pack, the traditional six-pack that's in the Piper Warrior, and it's got a outright primitive autopilot. I think it's 2-axis. I think it's only roll and wait. I think it's a 2-axis autopilot. I want to say roll and pitch, but I'm drawing a blank on that to be precise. So, but it's not nearly as sophisticated as, you know, all this. So in that respect, the PC-12 and the SR22 are kind of, they're in the same generation. They're just not in the same family. I've been flying these newer planes with all the casual, lackadaisical disregard that I've learned to fly the Warrior with. And you just can't do that. They're not the same animals. Not even close. As a result, I'm not flying at best, I'm not taking advantage of the benefits of flying these newer planes the way they're supposed to be flown. A chief example would be, if you watch my earlier videos, you notice I was real. I don't even know what a word. I did a lot of hand flying. I did a lot of hand flying, and I didn't like using the autopilot. What I would do is I would slave the autopilot to the heading bug rather than just make an outright flight plan. And every time I had to, you know, change a leg, I would, you know, jockey the heading bug direction. And I could have just, you know, made life simpler for myself by making a flight plan, but no, never did that. I was once told about using the autopilot by an instructor that you can use all the gadgets and whiz-bang stuff that's in your plane, but don't rely on it, because you don't want the plane to be the best pilot in the plane. You don't want the autopilot to be a better pilot than you. And I guess I took that and I ran with it. The autopilot's supposed to be a tool. The autopilot's supposed to lessen your workload. The autopilot's supposed to be like another set of hands, or a co-pilot. Let's keep it real, like a co-pilot. And I was just kind of haughty and proud, and I'm like, no. I can handle this by myself. I don't need no stinking autopilot. And I think my flying suffered because of it. Like a lot of my flights that weren't, you know, terribly long, like, you know, if they were longer than 20 minutes or so, they kind of suffered at the end. Towards the end, you could see me make some silly mistakes. And, you know, I'm part of me wants to call it, part of me wants to call it, you know, flying fatigue. I just, I don't know. I kind of wore myself out. I don't know. But did I? Okay, I did take it off. I'm going to use these as resources from here on out. Sandy Hook, baby. I'm used to. I wanna look down and see pleasure boats going around it. If you look it up on Google Maps and go to satellite, you'll see it, and it's the coolest thing. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in cockpit resource management. So I have in my cockpit resources that'll help me complete the mission better. The mission being flying the device from point A to point B and getting there, you know, safely, without a lot of hassle or fuss or whatever. That being said, in a lot of ways, I think I just mentioned earlier at the start of the video that the SR22 is a nice fit between the Piper Warrior or any single engine prop of that generation, and the PC-12, neat little turboprop of another generation, of a newer generation. And this plane is so kind of easy to fly that it's deceptive. It's deceptive in how easy it is to fly, because you can get in and just, you know, kick the tires and light the fires, but there's a lot of stuff you need to know. You know, least of all how to taxi in it. How's about that? You know, and it shares some facets that you wouldn't expect with the, you know, for as high tech as this is, you still have to change the fuel tanks by hand. And I'm going to do that right now. So, yeah. I want to be a better pilot, and I want to use proper technique, I guess you can say. So I'm going to be cozying up with the manuals for my planes, and flying them the way they were supposed to be flown, because, you know, this the PC-12 and the Pilatus, god damn it, the PC-12 and the SR are both capable of cruising well above 25,000 feet. As a as a consequence of that, I need to kind of make friends with this little button right here, because X-plane models hypoxia, and I found out the hard way. I took this puppy up to about 15,000 going through 16 JFK. Yeah, 15,000 going through 16, and it started getting dark. And I saw it, I noticed it. I at first I thought my monitor was going into low power mode or something stupid like that, but no, that was hypoxia. And it only took like a half second for me to realize that it was hypoxia, simulated hypoxia. And I was just like, wow, that's cool. I don't remember that happening in a Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, and that's something you can enable and take off. I had it enabled because it's for real. So yeah, I'm going to fly the planes the way they were meant to be flown. Okay, we've been flying for roughly a half hour. That we're making this so much faster than the Piper Warrior, because we started out further back. We started out further west than we would have if we had taken off from northeast Philadelphia, and we're already on top of JFK. There it is. We're already on top of JFK, where, you know, normally this might be the 35 or 40 minute mark if I had taken off in the Warrior out of Philly Northeast. And we're just, you know, we're cranking along. I'm impressed. Oh, let me explain what's going on with sound after you've been abused by it for a half hour. I'm not sure what's up with the sound. I'm seated regularly, and I noticed that there are two pockets, two zones where the sound spikes. Like if I lean my head back just a little, I pass through one zone, and if I lean forward towards the primary function display, I pass through another. Problem is, they're so, it's so easy to do that just in the course of moving my head. You know, I'm gonna pass through something, so it's annoying. It's very, very annoying. In addition to that, please note that my volume is currently set at 1%. 1%. Why is it at 1%? Because that's 6%. And that's 11. And that's 16. I'm not sure what's going on with that, because it's actually just a hair louder outside the damn plane. Like, aside from these pockets of popping sound, if we go outside, it's not it's not much louder. It's actually, well, if we, if I view it from the back, it's quieter. But the exterior sound is, it's just quieter than the interior, and I don't have it set up that way. So I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if that requires a letter, an email to Carenado, but that is annoying. So I just wanted to explain what was going on there. So let's get an update. All right, we're coming up on Farmingdale Republic. 33 minutes. Normally it takes me 45 to 50 minutes to get to Farmingdale from Northeast Philadelphia. And from Wings, I'm doing it in just about 35, 36 minutes. Or however long it takes me to get from here to there. And I'm amazed by it. Well, I'm not amazed, but I'm impressed by it. Like I said, I normally fly from that area of Philadelphia to Montauk using the PC-12 because it's so much faster than the Warrior. But even though the SR is not as fast, it's still faster than the Warrior, and it's got longer legs. Much longer legs. So overall, I'm impressed. But in addition to being impressed, I feel like I'm educated because I feel because I've flown God damn it. I feel like because I've flown the Piper Warrior in real life that I continue to fly it in the sim out of some sense of nostalgia or familiarity, either or, maybe a little both mixed, I don't know. But the simple fact of the matter is it's a plane of a prior generation of aviation. The future of aviation looks more like this than it does like this. And the Warrior is an incredibly simple plane to fly, and I've taken that into the cockpits of the SR22 and the PC-12, and you just can't fly them the same way. You just can't. There's Farmingdale Republic. Hey, Joe. A good friend of mine lives on Long Island, and that's the airport that's closest to him. We hang out there from time to time. So, so I guess Jones... Damn it. See where Jones Beach is. That's it, right there. That's Jones Beach Memorial, VFR checkpoint. Yep. That's a neat shot. Oh, and in keeping with my promise to advise about frame rates, this shot right here is I'm getting about 38 frames per second. There's more to draw here, so it's 33. Let's look out over the water deeply. 43, 44, 42. Back in the cockpit. Really? What am I, 8? What the hell? Back in the cockpit, I'm looking ahead, and this is 36. This is 34, 35. This is 41. So this is what you can expect from a plane of this graphical complexity on a day like this, in an area like this, with my hardware. So yeah, let's check up and see where we are now. 65 miles to Montauk. We're making excellent time. 154 on the ground. Boop. You can just have fun with the plane. You really can. I'm really learning to enjoy it. And that wasn't the case when I opened it up. And I say that because I didn't RTFM. I didn't read the damn manual, and definitely wasn't damn that I meant there. Like, okay, because the text on the PFD and MFD is so small, chances are more than likely from, let's say, about, this distance away, you might not be able to read the writing. You might not be able to see intricate detail. So you have two choices. You're either leaning forward into it, which you can do, it's cool, or you're popping out the displays. Now, the problem is that when I first installed the plane out of the box, popping out the displays, they came out roughly the same size as the 3D cockpit version. So it didn't really help. What I didn't know was that you could expand them to your liking. I did not, because it wasn't terribly obvious that you could do that. And maybe I need to turn my head a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it wasn't terribly obvious that you could do that. And I thought it was a bug. I thought it was a bug, and I kind of raged a little bit about it. And I hadn't read the manual, so apparently there's a lot one could assume that I was missing because I didn't read the manual. I was about to fire off a bug report and a sternly worded missive to Carenado, and would have thoroughly embarrassed myself when they wrote back, did you read the damn manual? Because if you had, you would have seen that you can expand those, you blind bastard. So, check my engines. I seem to have gained 0.7. Was I at 10 or 11 earlier? I thought it was at 10. Oh well. Yeah, we're doing fine now because we're sipping fuel. I think between turning the engine on and takeoff, I burned like 13 gallons, maybe. And since then, I've burned 6. You know, to climb and cruise. So, and again, yeah, my endurance isn't still in the 8-hour range, and my range is in the 600 range. So I'm doing good. I could go faster and get to my destination quicker, but wow, really? Why bother? Oh, excuse me. Sorry, you're not boring me. So yeah, if I were offered the chance to check out in each of the planes that are in my personal digital hangar, the Piper Warrior 2, the Cirrus SR22 GTSx, the Pilatus PC-12, if I checked out in all of them and somebody gave me the option to fly just one, I would pick the PC-12. It's just a beautiful plane. It's got the longest legs. It's got the fastest legs. It can carry the most cargo. It really is an SUV. It's a sexy SUV of the sky. The SR, not far behind it. I can carry, you know, not much, you know, 4 people and some luggage, but I can carry them far. I guess further than the Piper Warrior. We'll get there in relative comfort. Excuse me. We'll get there in relative comfort, and we have the assurance of this puppy right here, the CAPS system, the ballistic parachute. Excuse me. We're almost on target. Montauk is right about here. So, yeah, I feel a little embarrassed, but also a little encouraged. I feel embarrassed because My sim flying has been lazy and sloppy, and I have shared that with the world. You know, I can only imagine if you know, you watching my flying and you just, you know, ah! You know, you're like, what the hell is he doing? And that's not cool. That's not cool, particularly since I know better. 42 miles out. I don't know. I have the tools to do better, to fly better, and I'm going to use them where I haven't used them up to this point. So, in that respect, I kind of owe you guys an apology. You know, we're there's certain things we cannot simulate, like a walk around, obviously. I try to do it, or at least have a little fun with it, by, you know, going to an exterior view and showing me actuate the control surfaces, you know, to show that the linkage is free and correct. And there's, I don't know, I just feel like I could do it better. You know, I could be impressive with my flying, and I don't feel that my flying's been impressive up to this point. So, hold me accountable. Okay, we're at 3,540 something miles out, and yeah, don't need to come down just yet. I'm just going to enjoy the view. I really am a fan of flying with the Cirrus preset, the Cirrus weather preset. Damn it! It's bright enough where daytime flying you can really see the ground, but you also get some clouds to adorn the sky, and every now and again you get shadows cast. So, you know, it really is kind of the best of everything. The other, I mean, clear is nice, but, you know, you do want to see some clouds, not just not the big, bulky, blocky Minecraft clouds that are you know, modeled for storms and overcast and broken. So, I think this is Martha's Vineyard. FOK, is that Frederick? Something or another? No. And this is the Hamptons. Get the fuck out of here. Let's see. Don't tell me what I want, what I really, really want. Don't judge me, because I know some of you are going to go there. There we go. I have no idea what that sound is. That right there. Boom. Yeah. It certainly isn't the fuel pump. Speaking of which, I can go off the right tank a little longer. We've only got 2 flap settings, well, 3 flap settings, as opposed to 4 in the Warrior. We've got a 50% flap setting and a 100. But the flaps are so damn wide, you know, maybe you only need those 2 settings. All in all, it's a nice model of the SR22. I like it. I just need to spend a lot more time with it and fly it properly. End of story. And I'm sorry, I love this right here. This is great. Like, this looks plasticky the way it's supposed to, but this looks like fabric. This looks like perforated fabric, and I believe that's what it's supposed to look like. But I just want to rip it. I just want to take like a pen and mark it up, because that's what would happen. I would have like a pen in my hand, and I would reach up and breeze past it, and I would just mark it up, just accidentally. Like, God damn it. I don't need air, but I'm reassured by that hiss. And we're so close to destination, I can really just leave it on, but I'm not going to. I'm basically just draining the O2 tanks. All right, 22 miles out. Change the altimeter unit from inches to European HPA and back, or meters, just straight meters. But I'm not so much changing that as I'm adding a label. So that's cool. Back. So that really just kind of repeats what's up here. 15 miles out, I'm on GPS. So, God damn it! All right, let's get our game face on. We're 13 miles out, and I'm gonna come down to 2,000. Or I could just disconnect it altogether. Alright, Montauk should be right about here. Right about there. Alright, let's... You know what? We're 8 miles out. I'm disconnecting the autopilot. It's done its job. Reducing airspeed. Losing altitude. I'm gonna come right a little bit so I can align with the runway. $132, $131. $120, $119, $117. We are in the white arc. %, flaps. There we go. $2,100. 89. Alright, full flaps. Okay, looks like we're lined up. Gonna overfly some docked pleasure boats. Hopefully I don't come in so low that I freak them out. It looks like I'm on glide slope right now, but those boats are right under my nose. Too low. Come up. On glide slope. Looks good, even though I'm low. Come up. Wow, really, Quentin? Again, just gotta get used to this thing. So, that was bad. So, yeah. Still a good plane. It's how does the proverb go? It is the shoddy workman that blames his tools or something. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I have to adapt to the plane. The plane's not going to adapt to me. And I promise I will write a letter and ask about what's going on with that popping sound. It is real squirrely. Flaps up. Flaps are up. Yeah, you'll notice the when the nose wheel turns, the rudder doesn't, and normally they're you know, slaved together or married together or whatever. They're in tune with one another. That's not the case with the steering system or lack of steering system. I could have just gone back on the runway, but they want to hog it. Just because it's a non-towered runway, there's no reason not to, you know, treat it like it's a non-towered runway. Actually, so a little over an hour and 12 minutes, I guess that was. Alright, let's just... That's damn good time, you know, no matter how you slice it. So yeah, if I get my act together with this plane, it's conceivable it could be my go-to for the small hops, and I'll retire the Warrior to the, you know, the hangar of planes the hangar of planes past. So, what you guys think? Is this you know, something you can rock with, or do you prefer a competitor to the Warrior? The SR. Alright, let's see how to do this. Alright, let's parking brake engaged. Is this good? It's good enough for government work. Alright, we're shutting it down. I said we're shutting it down. Sweet. Alright, so that was me flying this puppy. And I hope I either didn't embarrass myself too terribly badly or gave you some inspiration to I hope I just gave you some inspiration. This is Quentin Parker, your pilot, flying a SR22 GTSx. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm out.